ADF. So what is ADF? Okay, guys. So ADF stands for what? Azure data, Azure Data Factory. Yes, everyone. So ADF stands for what? Azure Data Factory. Whereas the Azure Data Factory is nothing but it is a service. What is it? It is a service. Okay, guys. The Azure Data Factory is a service. So the Azure Data Factory is a service which is used to provide, okay, or which is provided basically by the Microsoft. What is that? Azure Data Factory is a service which is provided by the Microsoft. Azure Data Factory is a service which is provided by the Microsoft. Azure Data Factory is a service which is provided by the Microsoft to perform the job of ETL. Perform the job of ETL. Yes. So what is ETL? Basically, okay. So what is ETL? Basically, ETL stands for what, guys? ETL stands for extraction. ETL stands for extraction. Then we have what's a transformation. Transformation, and then we have what is that? Loading. Extraction, transformation, and loading. Where extraction, transformation, and loading, it is used to perform. Yes, guys, it is used to perform extraction, transformation, and loading. It is used to perform the data
Summarization.
yes, summarization. It is used to perform the data summarization. Okay, so now, okay, so now for this process of ETL, we require two things. What is that? Source, and the next one we require it as what? Target. Source, and we require it is what? Target. And between the source, everyone, between the source and the target, we apply what is that? ETL. That is nothing but extraction, transformation, and loading. So between the source and the target, we apply what is that? Extraction, transformation, and loading. Okay, guys. So whereas here, can you see source? Actually, source means what? Can somebody tell me? What do you mean by source? Okay. Source is a starting point. Source is a starting point where actually we can find the information. Cells, we can say that source is nothing but, yes, guys, source is nothing but what? Source is nothing but, source is a source of data. Source is nothing but what? Source is nothing but what? Source of data. So that means we can get the data from what? We can get the data from following. That is from the files. Yes, guys, we get the data from what is that? Files. We get the data from what? Files. So files in the sense, what are the files we can have it, guys? We can have the following files. What is that? Or else we can have the following files. What is that? CSV files. Okay, we can have what's that? CSV files. CSV files. Okay, then we can have what's that? Comma delimited file, or else CSV it itself is called as what? Comma separated value files. Then you have what? Excel files. Everyone. So we have what's that? CSV files, Excel files. Okay.
Tab delimited files. Tab.
Yes, TSV files. We call it as what? TSV, which stands for tab separated value files. Okay, TSV files. And
XML file. XML
XML.
file.
Yes, XML file. It is extendable markup language, or we can,
JSON.
yes, we can also have what's it? JSON files, and then we can have what's it? HTML files. Then you have what? Parquet files. Parquet files, and then you have what's that? ORC files, object row nar. Okay, object row column, object row column. Okay, then we have, what is that? Optimized row column. Guys, ORC stands for optimized row columm. So ORC file. Then we have
that file,
Avro file. Yeah, tell me, what is it?
that file, dot that
Yes,
file.
yes. These are all the various type of files we can have, where you can find the data, where you can find the data. Okay, guys, everyone, these are the various files we can have where we can find the data, where we can find the data, or we can get the data here. Okay. Whereas apart from this, guys, everyone, apart from the files, what are the other source where we can, from where we get the data? We can get the data from, what is that? Again, databases. Am I right?
Yes.
Databases. So what are the type of databases? So now, guys, can you tell me what is the very basic difference you have between the files and a database? You can consider that, this, guys, you can consider that files or a database, that is Excel files or CSV files, is very similar. Both are very similar. But whenever you have very massive amount of data, very large amount of data is stored, and that is nothing but the files, Excel file or CSV file does not support. Hence, we can store the data into, what is a database. And the second reason is that, whenever you want, okay, whenever you want, and the second reason is that whenever you want to store, okay, data with more security, whenever you want to store the data with more security, that much security is not provided in the CSV file or Excel file. Hence, we go for what? Database. And the third reason is that access, that means to get a particular data or a particular thing, that is, suppose I want salaries, I want the salaries, I want the list of employees. Guys, I want the list of employees whose salaries are, what is that? Whose salaries are less than 75,000. I want to get this list. This kind of retrieval is bit difficult in the Excel file or CSV files. Hence, we go for what? Database. So we go for what? Database. Three reasons. One is a security reason. Second is in our store huge and bulky data. And the third reason is what? Retrieval reason. These are the three reasons why we use the database always. Okay. Why we use the database. So what are the databases you can have? So databases means what? You can have the database as, tell me, guys, Oracle database,
MySQL.
MySQL, okay, MySQL database.
PostgreSQL.
Yes, MySQL database.
DB2,
Yes, very good. Then we have, what is that? Yes,
SQL Server,
DB2. Yes, a
SQL
DB2.
Server,
Yes, SQL Server.
Cosmos DB,
Very good. So now Cosmos
MongoDB,
DB. Okay, no problem. That
Mongo,
is okay. That is basically Cosmos DB is a cloud based. Okay, we can say that Cosmos DB.
MongoDB,
Yes, MongoDB, etc.
Snow, Snowflake,
Yes, Snowflake. All these are the databases we can have. So that means we can get the data from what? Even the databases. We can get the data from what? Even the databases. Okay, guys. We can get the data from what? Even the databases. That is Oracle, MySQL database, SQL. That is nothing but SQL Server, Cosmos DB. As you said, MongoDB, etc., etc. Apart from this, we can also get the data from, what is it? Can tell me now, guys? Live streaming data. Am I right? Live streaming data. So what do you mean by live streaming data, guys? Yes. What do you understand by live streaming data? Now, guys, you have it here. You have okay, stock market. Have you ever seen the stock market? How does it works? The values changes. The values changes on, what is that? Every second or every minute it changes. Am I right or not? The session will be live. Whatever the things goes off, that will be live. Or for example, you can say live cricket match. Guys, we always see the live cricket match. No? What happens? Tell me now. the values, that means the score changes every that is every minute, or every 5 minutes, every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes, the cricket match, that is the score changes. Likewise, very constantly live changing data here is nothing but the live streaming data. Okay, the data which streams live, that is called as what? Yes, live streaming data. So here you can have also get the data from what is that? Live streaming as a source. So anyways, many sources are there, but these are the three sources which we can majorly get it here. Okay, what should we can get the data from what? Yes, we can get the data from what? We can get the data from the files, we can get the data from the databases, and we can get the data from what is that? Live streaming data. Okay, guys, we can also get the data from what? From the live streaming. Okay, these are all the, yes guys, these are all the source of data. So now further, what happens from the source of data, guys? From the source of data, the data is that is nothing but extracted. So that means we use the on this all data. We use what is that? ADF. That is called as what? Azure Data Factory. We use the ADF, that is called as the Azure Data Factory, and using this ADF we perform the job of ETL, that is extraction, transformation, and loading. And further guys, the extraction, transformation, and loading will be done and load the data into what is that? Destination. Loaded the data towards destination. Target can also be referred as what? Destination, guys. Target can also be referred as what? Destination. Okay, guys, clear everyone? So now after this, okay, after this, let us try to see here one more thing. What is that? Yes, guys, everyone. I'm audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, now guys. Okay, then afterwards, let's try to see here. Okay, types of data. Types of data. So now the data, whatever we get it, we know from what sources we get the data. But now let us try to see what is the type of data? What is the type of data? So the type of data is nothing but here can you see, guys, here can you see the following are the types which we can find it. The first one is called as structured data. Yes, guys, the first one is called as what? Structured data. The first one is called as what? Structured data. And the second one is called as what?
Unstructured.
Yes. Or we can say semi-structured data. Semi-structured data. And the third one is called as what? Unstructured data. Unstructured data. So these are the three types of data we can have. What is that? Structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. Am I right, everyone? Structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. These are the three type of data we can have it. Okay, guys. So now let us try to understand what exactly the structure is, what is semi-structured, and what's the unstructured. So guys, the structured data is nothing but, yes, the structured data is nothing but this data is already that is placed in the form of proper rows and columns, such as, for example, I have a name, okay, ID, job, salary, okay, then okay, name, ID, job, salary. This is the thing we have it. Guys, everyone have a look here. So now let's do one thing now. Let's fill it up. Name I'm using it as Alan, and here I'm using as the ID number. Job is the clerk. Okay, and then we have what's that? 25,000. That's it now. Next, can you see? I'm writing off one more line. Alan, Bobby. Senior clerk is the job. Okay, guys. And then we have the salary here. Let's make it here as okay, 25,000. Let's make it as 30,000. Can see here likewise we have the all data. This data is properly kept in the form of rows and columns data. Getting my point, all of you? So this kind of data, guys, this kind of data is called as what? Structured data. This is called as what? Structured data. Now the next comes is what? Semi-structured data. So what do you mean semi-structured data? The data which is not properly structured, but still it is not an unstructured. Still it has some structure. Such kind of data is called as what? Semi-structured data, such as the data kept and recorded in the form of, yes guys, the data kept and recorded in the form of JSON. Okay, the data kept and recorded in the form of what? JSON files and XML files, etc. Okay, so this kind of that is nothing but data is called as what? Semi-structured data. So guys, everyone is following?
Yes.
Okay, guys. So now let us start with what is the semi-structured data. So basically, let's see how the data actually appears, how the data appears, data appears in JSON file. So I'm writing the JSON file here. Suppose the JSON file, the data is recorded in the form of a key value pair. Okay, guys, and it will be recorded in the curly braces. Can you see it? The data will be recorded in what? Curly braces. The data will be recorded in what? Curly braces in the form of a key value pair. Suppose the same data, if at all, we have to write it here. The same data, if at all, you have to write it here into the semi-structured JSON format. How do we write it? Let us see. The data will be like this. Name. Okay, guys. Name. That's it. And here you have what's that name, and then what's the name you have it? Tell me now. Alan. Am I right, everyone? Sorry. And now use a comma here. Now tell me, what's the next thing you have it? Can you tell me, guys? Then you have what's that? ID.
ID.
Yeah. So if you have an ID, it will be written like this. Then you have what's the ID here? 212. So as it is a numeric data, it is not kept into the double quotes. Okay. Then you have what is that? Job. This guy's job. What's the job you have it? Job is nothing but what? The clerk. Comma. Then you have what's that? Salary. What is the salary you have it? Yeah. Salary is 25,000. That's it. Fine, everyone. Now this is the data you have it. Where finally, yes, guys, finally, yes, the data will be, can you see it? Finally, the data will be, yes, finally, the data will be, here, this data will be, that is nothing but placed like this. What is that? The data will be placed like this. How it is, I'm just, okay, can you see it? Okay, anyways, all right. So finally, this is how. So now, guys, this is called as a JSON document. Am I right, everyone? This is called as what? A JSON document. It is called as what? A JSON document. This is called as a JSON document. Okay. So this is how can you see it? This data is not fully structured, but still it is not totally unstructured. It has some structure to view. Am I right? So hence this is called as what, guys? Semi-structured data. Is everyone is following or not?
Yes.
Okay, guys. So what about rest of you? I want an answer from everyone. See, this is the called as what? Semi-structured data.
Yes.
And okay. The next one, what is it you have it? Suppose this is called as the JSON. Now see, let us see how the data will be recorded into the XML. Let us see it here. Okay. So now that when it comes to the XML file, the data will be recorded, okay, in the tags, in the form of what? Tags. Let us say here, this is nothing but a table data, the name called employees. That means the name of the table is the employees. So suppose you are writing it here, same table I'm writing it. So I'm using words at employees. That's it. And now guys, these are called as tags. These are called as what? Tags. Now let's start the tag here. What's the first row you have it? Tell me now. Name. Name. Yes. What is the name you have it? Can you tell me guys? What's the name you have it? Alan.
Ellen.
And now again, close. That's it. Name. This is called as an opening tag, and this is called as a closing tag. Getting my point? Opening tag and closing tag. In between you have what is that? Opening tag and closing tag. In between you have what is that? Employees. Then we have what is that, guys? Tell me. Here you have it. Yeah.
ID.
Yeah, what's it? ID. So here we have what's it? ID. Here you have what's it? ID.
212.
Yes, 212 is the ID. And again, what's it? You have it?
Flash ID.
Yeah, ID. That's it. The next one, what's it? You have it? Can you tell me, guys? There will be no commas even. Guys, there will be no commas even. You have it. Okay. Then we have what's it? Tell me now.
Job.
Sir.
Yes, job. So use the job here. That's it. And then we have the job as what? Tell me. Clerk. So here there will be no data kept in a semicolons or double quotes or single quotes like this. Directly the data is written like this. Clerk. And now again the closing tag. The closing tag is the job itself. And then we have what is it? Tell me now. Just open this. Then you have what is it? Salary. Sal. And now close it. What is it I want? 25,000. See here, guys. Finally, this is the data you have it. Now, as this is the all tags are opened and closed, but one tag is not closed yet. What is that? This is called as a row tag. This is called as what? Row tag. Close this row tag here at the end. Place the tag. You can see here. This kind of data, guys, everyone, this kind of data is called as what? Yes, guys, this kind of data is called as what? Semi-structured. That is nothing but, sorry, a semi-structured data, not the unstructured. It is called as what? Semi-structured data. This is called as what, guys? Semi-structured data. Semi-structured data. That's it, okay? That's it. So this is the type of data we have it, semi-structured data. Now guys, unstructured data. So unstructured data means what? Unstructured data is nothing but all your photos you have it in your mobile phone, okay? All the videos and voice recordings. Videos, photos, voice recording, everything. This kind of data is called as what? Unstructured data. And whereas 80%, guys, what is that? 80%. 80%. What is that? 80% of the data we get it in what? Unstructured format only. Getting my point? 80% of the data we get it in what's that? Unstructured format only. Everyone, 80% of the data is what? Unstructured formatted data. Okay, only in the 20% you will get the structured data, and what is that? Semi-structured data. Only in the 20% we get structured, and what's that? Semi-structured data. That's it. Only 20% we get it. Whereas 80% will be what? Yeah, unstructured. It does not follow any kind of a structure. Getting my point, everyone? Yes, am I right, everyone? Please.
Yes.
Okay. So now the next one after this is okay, guys. So this is the things we have it. Now after this, but here, as you know, everybody. So for the process of ETL, we require what is it? Source and the target. Source is here, and these are the type of sources we have it. What is it? Files, etc. All these are the type of sources we have it. But whereas from this source, we can get the what type of data? Structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. Structured, semi-structured, and yes, guys, structured, semi-structured, and what is it? Unstructured data.
Unstructured.
Yeah, these are the three type of data you can get it. And whereas these data, before we start up the process of ETL, before we start up the process of ETL or we apply the ADF on the data, we require to store the data into Azure. That means we call it as what? Azure storages. From the Azure storages, guys, everyone, from the Azure storages, okay, we pick the data will be picked up by the ADF, that is Azure Data Factory, and then ETL will be performed on the using the Azure Data Factory, and finally the data is sent towards the destination. Finally, the data is sent to what? What guys? Finally, the data is sent to what? Destination. Am I right, everyone? For finally, the data will be sent to the destination. So now, guys, now what are the storages we have it, and which storage stores what type of data? Let us try to see this. So everyone knows now what is the source and what is the types of data. Okay, so now let us try to see here. We have the, yes guys, we have the following storages in Azure. So we can say storages in Azure. Storages in Azure. So now guys, tell me now what is that storages in Azure? The following are the storages in Azure. Yes guys, the following are the storages in Azure. The first and foremost one, that is called as what? Yes guys, Azure blob storage. Guys, everyone. So the Azure blob storage always stores. Getting my point, everyone? The Azure blob storage can store always. Yes, guys. The Azure blob storage can, okay.
Videos.
Yes, it can store any kind of data. It can store any kind of data. What is that? It can store any kind of data. Okay, it can store any kind of data. Okay, so it can store any kind of data. So that means the Azure blob storage can store, what is that? Structured data. Structured data.
Semi-structured and unstructured.
Semi-structured. Yes. And then your unstructured. These are the, can you see here? These are the types we can store it. Semi-structured, structured, and unstructured data. Semi-structured, structured, and unstructured data. So now the Azure blob storage can store any kind of data. Where guys, what do you understand by, okay, what do you understand by the blob? Can you tell me what you understand by the blob? Blob is nothing but binary large object. It stands for what guys? Tell me now. Binary large object. What did it stand for?
Binary large objects.
Yes, binary large object. It stands for binary large object. Okay. So now guys, let us see the second one. Okay. Just a minute, guys. Now guys, the next one you have it as what? Azure data lake Gen 1 means what? It stands for Azure Data Lake Gen 1. So Gen 1 is nothing but what? Can you tell me, guys? What is that? Okay. Azure Data Lake Gen 1. So now in the Gen 1, basically here, can you see the Gen 1? Okay. The Gen 1, basically it is not allowed to create it now because this is going to retire. This is going to retire in 2024. This is going to retire on what? Everyone, this is going to retire in 2024. Okay. Okay. It is going to retire in what? 2024. Hence, it's not allowing us to create. So now can you see here the next one? What is that you have it? Okay. Then now the entire data in the Gen 2, entire data into the Gen 2 is being migrated to what? Azure Data Lake. Everyone, Azure Data Lake. Yes, guys, tell me now. Gen 2. Azure Data Lake, what's that? Gen 2. And now, guys, Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Okay. Basically, the Azure Data Lake Gen 2 also stores the data. Can you see here? Also stores the data. Where can you see here? What kind of data it stores? Tell me now. What kind of data it stores? It can store any kind of, even this can store any kind of data. But most of the times, the data which is mostly used for visualization purpose. That means for the purpose of analysis. For the purpose of analysis, whenever we want to use the data, such kind of data is mostly recorded. Okay, mostly recorded into this. What is that? Mostly recorded into the yes, into this Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Okay, Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Okay, uh, such as such as such as yes, such as now, guys. Yes, tell me now. Here, suppose you have it. What is that we have it? Can you see here? We have the data here in what? Decimal. Decimal. Okay. Whereas in the source, suppose the decimal is accepted. In the source, it is what? Decimal. What do you mean decimal, guys? Can you say? I'm writing a word here. What is it? 7,000 dot double. This is the data accepted in the source. That is in the source file, it is like this. But in the target, I have to change the data. I have to change the data in like this. That means only decimal is not accepted here. Decimal is not accepted. Only what is that? Integer. That means this kind of data is called as what? Decimal data. And this kind of data is called as what, guys? Tell me now. Integer. Integer data. Am I right or not? So whenever this kind of things to be changed into the target, such kind of data is mostly recorded into the Gen 2. What is that? The Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Guys, apart from this, you have also the next one that is called as what? Yes, that is called as what? Azure SQL database. Azure SQL database. Then you have what is that? Yeah, Azure SQL database. Azure SQL database. Then you have what is it? Azure Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB is nothing but it is called as what? NoSQL database. Am I right, everyone? Then again, after this, we have what is that? Tell me now. Guys, everyone, please. Azure Cosmos DB. Then you have what is that? Azure Synapse. Okay. Okay. Then we have what's that? The next one I'm using it. Azure. Azure Synapse is there. Then we have what's that? Azure Synapse. And the next one, apart from this,
Data
we have
warehouse.
yes.
Data warehouse.
Yes. Azure Synapse it itself is a data warehouse. Elastic pool. Elastic pool. Now, guys, these all are the various storages. So likewise, In Azure, we can have, what is that? Yes, guys, we can have 90 plus storages. The Azure supports how many storages? 90 plus storages it supports. Just a minute, I will show you now. Sorry. Just a minute. This is called as a Azure portal, guys. In this portal only we are going to work. Can you see it? Click on the more services.
No, we can't see your screen. That one.
Okay, everyone, just have a look here. This is the portal.azure.com. This is a portal. So on this we are going to work and click on the more services. Now, guys, can you see here? And these are the some of the storages. Then afterwards, these are also the storages. So likewise, likewise, everyone. Okay, likewise, see here, everyone. We can store any type of data, that is nothing but in the storage called what? 90 plus storages are provided for that reason. Getting my point, everyone? Yes, guys. These are the 90 plus storages we have. That's it, guys. These are the 90 plus storages we can have. Okay. So I like all this. So based on that thing only, majorly are these okay differences, whatever we have it. Azure Blob can store any kind of data. Azure Data Lake, Gen2 can also store any kind of data, but mostly it stores the data. Sorry, Gen1 and Gen2. Gen2 mostly it stores the data which is used for what? Visualization purpose. And then we have what? Azure SQL DB. All what happens here structured, that is rows and columns data only will be recorded. Then we have the Azure Synapse. Synapse is nothing but this is called as a data warehouse. This is called as what, guys? Data warehouse in Azure. Data warehouse in Azure. The data warehouse of Azure is called as what? Yes, guys, Azure Synapse Analytics. It is called as what? Azure Synapse Analytics. And Elastic Pool is nothing but where you have very large amount of databases. So multiple databases recorded in a place is called as what? Elastic Pool. Clear, everyone? Yes, guys. So these are the storages we have it, guys. Everyone, these are the storages, and this is nothing but the structured and semi-structured data. And okay, guys. So this with this we will have it to end the things. And tomorrow, from tomorrow onwards, we'll start with the Azure. That means what are the things you have in Azure, how the pipelines are designed, what is a pipeline. We will discuss all these things one after the other from tomorrow. Okay, guys. That's it. So I'm just ending up the class. Thank you everyone for attending. Okay, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay.
Sir,
Thank
like
you.
we are
Bye.
recording these sessions, right?
Yeah, the session is on recording. You'll get the recording.
Like it won't be shared to us.
Yeah, it will be shared to you in the Google Drive.
Okay, right.
Thank you.
Every day you will share or
Every day recording will be shared. Right.
thank you.
Ama?
Thank you.
Okay. That's it, ma. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm ending the class. Okay, guys. So let's start with the Azure Data Factory. Now tell me, everyone, what is the Azure Data Factory? Azure Data Factory is what? It is a service basically, guys. This is not a software service. It is a service provided by Microsoft. It is service provided by what is it? Microsoft to perform the job of what is that? ETL. So what do you mean ETL? To perform the job of ETL, the service called Azure Data Factory is provided by the Microsoft. On what? Yes, guys, between clouds, and on-premises. Between clouds and on-premises. Okay, guys, between clouds and on-premises. Whereas, now tell me, everyone, what do you mean by this word called ETL?
Extract, transfer, load.
Extract,
Very good. So it is nothing but extraction. Then you have what's a transformation.
loading.
Then we have what's that? Loading. L stands for loading. So guys, extraction, transformation, and loading. These are the things we have it. And why this technique is used? This is technique is called as what? It is used for what? Yes, guys. It is used for what? Data summarization. Data summarization. This technique is used for what? Yes, guys. This technique is used for what? Data summarization. It is used for what? Data summarization. Okay. So this is,
Along with service, can we say it is an application, Azure Data Factory?
of course, you can say, but no. Technically, we don't call it as an application.
Sir, what is the difference between service and application?
Service is that where you provide it, where you provide that is this thing and take the money. That is nothing but service. You provide it and take the money. Whereas, just a minute. Whereas, and the service basically here, as we cannot install it, we don't require to install and download the things. Okay, so hence we consider this as a service. Whereas when it comes to an application, the application can be downloaded, and whereas the data on which the same can be, what is it? We can uninstall it and install it. All these kind of things. It is restricted to a particular computer. When you have a what is that? It is when you consider it as an application. Okay. Likewise, you have applications in your mobile phone. You can use it for that particular mobile phone. If at all you want to use the same in some other mobile phone, then you need to install it. That is, the application is nothing but it is restricted to only this particular thing. And whereas when it comes to this, guys, yes, when it comes to this one, what is it? We have it. When it comes to this this service is basically we provide it and we charge it, and that's it. Nothing else is there in the service. Okay. So anyways, so we have what is that? The ETL stands for what? Extraction, transformation, and what is that? Loading. Whereas this extraction, transformation, and loading, it is a process where the data is summarized. So we can say that data summarization. It is a technique which is used for what? Data summarization. And this ETL is in very old technique, guys. Nowadays, even we are using everyone. Nowadays, even we are using ELT. What is ELT? ELT stands for what? Extraction. Yes, extraction, loading,
Loading and transformation.
transformation. Yes. Extraction, loading, and transformation. Whereas Azure supports both, whether it is ELT or ETL, whatever it may be, we have it. Okay. So now, guys, for this process of ETL, we require two things. What's that? Source. We require what is that? Tell me. For this process of ETL, yes, for this process of ETL, for this process of
Source,
ETL, yes,
transformation, and target.
yes. First of all, we require what's that? Source and the target. For this particular process, we require what's that? Source, and the next one we require it as a target. So target is nothing but what? Destination. So between the source and the target, guys, between the source and the target, we apply the ETL or ELT. Getting my point? Whereas the source is nothing but what? Yes, guys, everyone tell me. Source is nothing but what? Source of data. Okay. Source of data. Source is nothing but what? It is the source of data. Source is nothing but what? It is a source of data. It is a source of data. That's it. Okay. Whereas this is a source of data. So what is a source of data? A place from where you get the data. That is nothing but ultimately a place from where you get the data is called as what? Source of data. It is called as what, guys? Source of data. Whereas what are the source of data we can have it? Can you tell me, guys?
Files.
Yes, exactly.
Database.
Flat
Yes.
file, text file, video.
Yes. So files, and then we can have what is that? Databases.
Databases.
Yes.
Live
And what?
streaming data.
Very good. Live streaming data. Live streaming data. Okay, guys. So these are the things we have it. Files. Okay. Files. Okay. We have what's it? Files, databases, and live streaming data. These are the three sources from where we get the data. From where we get the data here. Okay. So then afterwards, guys, first of all, what we do, we get the data here. We get the data and we initiate the data. So by using the process called what? ETL. And once you start the ETL, before this, you need to do is, first of all, these files or these databases data or live streaming data need to be stored in here in what? Azure storages. And from the Azure storages, the same is picked up by ADF. That is nothing but called as what? Azure Data Factory. Okay, it is picked up by what? Azure Data Factory. And now, once it is picked up by the Azure Data Factory, the ETL, the process of extraction, transformation, and loading will be taken care. And once extraction, transformation, and loading process is taken care or taken place, then what happens here? The same, okay, will be sent to the destination. The same will be sent to what is that? Destination after the process is completed. And destination is nothing but ultimately a place where we wanted to store the summarized data. A place where we wanted to store the summarized data is called as a destination. Whereas, guys, when it comes to this data, how many type of data we can have it? Can you tell me? Yes, generally we have how many type of data?
Three types of data.
Okay, guys. So generally we have what's it? Three types of data. Okay, data type. So basically we have three type of data. Okay, data is nothing but we have three types. What is that? The first one is called as what? Structured data. Yeah. Next one.
Semi-structured.
Yes,
Structure,
semi-structured.
unstructured, semi-structured.
Yes, semi-structured. Semi-structured, structured, semi-structured, and the third one is what? Unstructured.
Unstructured.
And this data, okay, this data we can find it out, okay, or we can get it here from what is that? These files, etc. Whereas from where we get the structured, semi-structured, or unstructured data, we get it from what? Yes, guys, we get it from the, yes, we get this data. We get this data ultimately from where? From the business. Am I right or not? Business. So now that business can be what? That business can be the social networking sites. We can get the data. That is nothing but we get the data from what? Social networking sites. Or we get the data from what? Social networking sites, human generated data, machine generated data. Yes, machine generated data. And we have, what is that? Tell me guys, banking applications. We get the data from what? Banking applications, etc. So these are an OLT sensors. Okay, these are the various ways or businesses from where we get the data ultimately. Okay, and that data we pick it up by using the Azure storages, and we store it, and then the process of ETL starts by using the ADF, that is called as extraction, transformation, and loading. Finally, it will be loaded into the target. That's it. Finally, it will be loaded into what's that? Target. Okay, guys. So this is the thing we have it. Clear, everyone? Yes, guys. Everyone, please tell me now. Is it clear
Yes,
or
sir.
not?
Yes.
Okay. Next after this. Okay. Next after this, let us try to understand and move further. Okay, guys. So next, what is it you have it? Let us see this. Just tell me what are the storages in Azure?
Blob storage.
Yes, the first one is called as the Azure Blob Storage. Yes, ma. The first one is called as what? Azure Blob Storage. Okay. And the second one is what?
The
Azure.
Gen 1, Gen 2.
Yeah. So we have, what is it? Azure Data Lake. Data Lake. Yes. Data Lake Gen 1.
Gen 1.
Then you have, what is it?
Azure Data Lake Gen 2.
ADLS Gen 2. Okay, Azure Data Lake. Okay, Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 or Gen 1, whatever we say here. Okay, that's it. So now then, apart from this, what is it we can have? We can have
Cosmos.
Azure. Yes, ma'am.
Azure Cosmos.
Cosmos DB.
Mhm.
Cosmos DB. So basically, this Cosmos DB is called as what? This Cosmos DB, whatever we have it, this Cosmos DB, we call it as what? No SQL database, where we don't have a SQL here. Okay. Then afterwards,
Azure SQL Database.
yes, of course, we have what's it?
Synapse.
Azure SQL database. Yes, ma'am. Azure
Azure
SQL
Synapse.
database.
Synapse Warehouse.
Yeah, Synapse. That is called as what? Synapse, ma. So now it is nothing but what? Azure Synapse. Azure Synapse Analytics. Azure Synapse Analytics. Okay. So likewise, okay, we can also have many more. That is nothing but I'm saying it here. Azure Elastic Pool. So now these are all the, okay, these are all the storages. So in Azure, basically, yes, in Azure, basically, we have how many storages, ma? In Azure, basically, we have how many storages? 90 plus. Yes, 90 plus storages are provided in Azure. How many? 90 plus storages are provided in Azure to store the data. Getting my point? To store the data, 90 plus storages are provided. Yes, guys, clear now? Yes, everyone is clear?
Yes, sir.
So now, guys, we'll start with the main subject today. That is, everyone. Okay, guys, so let us start with this main subject here. So the first one, what we now here we go ahead is components. Components in, yes, guys, components in ADF, that we call it as what? Components in ADF. So that is called as what? The components in ADF. So here, with the following are the components are required in ADF. Okay. Okay, guys, components in ADF. So now we require the following components. We require the following components without which the ADF, okay, does not supports. So for that, that means to complete this process in ADF, that is nothing but using this extraction, transformation, and loading, we require the following components. So now, guys, the entire story in ADF is depending upon, yes, guys, this entire thing is depending upon the following. What is that we have it? The first one is called as, yes, the first one is called as pipeline. The first one is called as pipeline. And now this is the full name of this. We can also call it here as data pipeline. That's it. Now next one. Second one is called as linked services. And the third one, guys, first one is called as what? Pipeline. Second one is called as linked service. And third one is called as a data sets. Third one is called as a data sets. And the fourth one is, guys, pipeline, linked service, and data sets. And the next one we have it as what? Okay. Activities. Activities. Yes, data sets, activities. Okay. Then we have the next one as, okay, guys, triggers. Yes, mapping, data flows, mapping data flows. Okay. So, and the seventh one we have it as integration, runtime. So, guys, these are the 7 components we require in ADF to perform this job. Everyone, we require what is that? We require the 7 components. We require what is that? The following 7 components we require it. We require the 7 components to perform the job of ETL, to perform the job of ETL, to perform the job of what is that? ETL, whenever we use this ADF. Without this 7 components, we need not do anything else, or we can't do anything. Okay. So we require the 7 components. So now, guys, tell me now, guys, the first and foremost one is a pipeline, which is also called as what? Data pipeline. So now, first of all, I will give you the technical definition of this. Then I will explain it to you. Okay, guys. So pipeline is nothing but it is also called as a data pipeline. Pipeline is nothing but called as what? Tell me now. The pipeline is called as what? Data pipeline, which is responsible for orchestrating the data from the source to the target. Okay. So pipeline is nothing but, tell me now. Pipeline is nothing but it is, okay. Pipeline is nothing but it is used to, yes, guys, it is used to carry the data from the source to the target. It is used to carry the data from the source to the target. So hence we call it as a pipeline. Now, guys, I'll take an example now. Everyone just concentrate here. Okay. Now, guys, we all stay in some apartments or individual houses, etc., etc. And we are habituated of having a running water. Am I right, everyone? We're habituated of having a running water in taps. In the wash areas, we have a tap, and in the tap, we are habituated of getting the running water. Can everyone tell me, or can anyone tell me, from where do we get that water? Getting my question, everyone, or not?
Water tank.
Exactly, that is nothing but water tank. Exactly, it is called as what? Water tank. So now from the water tank, overhead water tank, you are getting the water in your tap. Am I right or not? And tap is located in your wash area. So now we are getting the water into the tap only as because the overhead tank and tap is connected. How the overhead tank and tap is connected? Can you tell me now?
Pipeline.
Exactly, by using a pipeline. So we can say that a pipeline is a source which provides the water. Pipeline is a source which provides the water from the overhead tank to the tap. Am I right or not? Yes.
Yes.
So whereas we can say pipe is a source. Pipe is a source. Okay. Pipe is a source. Okay. Pipe is a source basically. Pipe is a source. Okay. So pipe is a source where the pipe is a source of providing the water. So here the same thing here. Okay, what is that we have it in the ADF? The pipeline carries the data from the source to the target. From the source to the target. What is a source? A source where you get the data and we pick it up and we perform the process of ETL. Ultimately, we load the data. Ultimately, we load the data into what is that? Yeah, we load the data into what is that? Destination. So whereas, can you see here? In this given example, here you have it. Can you see here? Source. Here you will have the pipeline will start. Pipeline. Here the pipeline will start. What is that? Here the pipeline will start. What is that? The pipeline will start here. Okay, the pipeline will start here. The pipeline will start here. So we have what's it? Pipeline. So pipeline will begin here. And from here, guys, we begin the pipeline and the pipeline is started here. And this entire thing, whatever we have it, this entire pipeline is started here and ended here at the target. And now can you see here, the pipeline is beginning here and ending. So in between this pipeline, we have what is that? Storages is there. Then we use the ADF and then we perform the extraction, transformation and loading. So now can you tell me what does it, the pipe carries here?
Data.
Exactly. So hence we call it as what? Data pipeline. Hence we call it as what? Data pipeline. So we can say that I'm giving you the technical definition. I'm giving you the technical definition. Pipeline is nothing but basically it orchestrates the data from the source to the target. That means data movement. That is called as what? Data movement. So the data movement will be taken care by the pipeline. The data movement will be taken care by what is that? Pipeline, everyone. Okay, guys. Then you have what is that? Linked service. Now, guys, tell me linked service. So now, guys, as we know, let's go back to our example. As we know that we get the water into our tap from overhead tank, and we are able to get this water because of the pipeline connected. Am I right or not, everyone? Now the pipe is directly connected to the tap, or some more fitting is required before the pipe connects to the tap.
Joints are required, sir.
Very good. So we require some joining point. That is called as, we say some coupling, we affix it with the threads, because the tap will also have thread. And we will tie up that thread with that coupling and that coupling with the ultimately pipe. So we can say it is a type of linking or not. Yes, guys?
Yes.
In the same way here also linked services. So now, guys, can you see here? Suppose here you have, all of you, just a minute. Suppose you have a database and this database is, let us say, Oracle DB. What is that you have it? Oracle DB. Oracle DB is here. And now once Oracle DB is there, so now, guys, so we don't have any relationship between the Oracle DB and our pipeline in ADF. Am I right or not? Do we have, these are two different products. So now to create this relationship, between the Oracle DB and my pipeline and my data pipeline, we require a service here. That is called as what? Linked service. That we require a service called what, guys? Tell me now. We require a service called what? Linked service. That is called as what? LS, linked service. Clear now?
Yes.
So now for every, can you see here, for every process, can you see here you have connected Oracle with this pipeline by using one link service, and here you have ultimately destination. So destination, let us say you have here AWS, Amazon Web Services. So now tell me, you are using the Azure data pipeline and you have to get connected to the Amazon Web Services. Do we require another link service here or not? Yes, guys? Link service. So now for every example or for every process, generally whenever you have different storages, we require a link service. That means link service is that which creates the relationship. Okay, link service is that which creates the relationship from the one storage to the another storage. That is called as what? Linked service. Okay, guys, everyone. Next after this. Next after this. Everyone is clear or not? Please tell me, guys. Yeah, I'm audible.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So pipeline, and then you have link service. The third one is called as a data set. Now, guys, technically data set is nothing but it is a pointer. It is a pointer, or it is a reference. It is a reference to the physical location of the file. That is called as a data set. But here for explanation purpose or for understanding purpose, I can tell you that data set is nothing but this is a table. Generally, a table is a collection of what, guys? Tell me now. Rows and columns. Whereas, can you see here? Rows and columns. Whereas these rows, can you see here? These rows and columns are nothing but, can you see here? These rows and columns are nothing but, yes, guys, these rows and columns are nothing but, rows are always horizontal and these are all vertical columns. Now, guys, let us see here. Basically, this kind of a table, here we call it the data set. Whereas the data set is a collection of what? Observations. And what is it we have to tell me now, guys? Variables. Observations and variables. In the same way, generally we may call it as a table, but here in Azure we call it as what? Data sets, which is a collection of observations and variables. Observations are rows, variables are columns. Getting my point, everyone? Yes, guys.
Yes.
So that's it. So now we have the three. What is it? You have it: pipeline, linked service, and then we have the data sets. So now, guys, I'll just show it to you here in the diagram. Here you have it. You get the data. So if we get, first of all, we start the process. We initiate the pipeline. Under the pipeline, you will have the link service. Getting my point? So now to create the relationship between the external source and the pipeline, we use what is that? Linked service. And now once the pipeline is linked, now it starts the process of extraction. So whereas extraction, whatever we have it, okay, after extracting the data and before the data is transformed or loaded, before the data, after the data is extracted, and before it's sent to the transformation, and finally before it loads the data into the target, here we require to store the data in the form of a data set. Okay, now again, after the loading, we require one more data set. That means what? This data set is called as a source data set. This data set is called as what? Target data set ultimately. Okay. Source data set, and what is that? Target data set. Yes, guys. Am I right or not, everyone?
Yes.
And now to create the relationship between this pipeline and the external source, we use what is that? A linked service. We use what is that? A linked service. Clear now, everyone, or not? Yes, guys, I want a reply from all of you.
Yes.
That's it, guys. Okay. So that's it for the day. And tomorrow we'll just start up with the activities and we'll activities, triggers, and mapping data flows and integration runtime. We'll just see this and then immediately we'll move further with the practicals tomorrow. Okay, guys. So meanwhile, all of you install the software and make it ready for use. Okay.
Yes, sir. So what software we should install?
Sorry. Uh, okay. I meant to say sorry. Not software exactly. You start the service. The service is here. I'm just a minute, everyone. I'm using the service. See here. Start the service by using the portal.azure.com. Just to start this. Because all the practicals, sorry guys, not installation. You know, it is basically, you know, it's not this thing. Okay, so we have, what is that? This one is called as portal.azure.com, wherein can you see here we can start up with this portal.azure.com. We can start up with what? Yes, guys, we can start up with the Azure Data Factory. So here, this is the ADF. If at all you want to use the bricks, you have a data bricks is also here. So anyways, you can use anything. Okay, that's not a problem. And if you want to use a Synapse, I'll show you Synapse. Synapse is a data warehouse, actually. See now, Synapse is also here. Okay, so basically these are all the services. So how to start it, I'll tell you once more. All of you, I want to see the screen now. It's very
Yes.
simple, guys. Just go to just go towards it, azure.com. and click on get started, and again click on the get started. So here, anyways, I'm already here, so hence it is giving me directly the password. Else you have to enter the user, that is nothing but your email ID, password, and credit card details. Everything you have to fill it. It will charge you only 2 rupees for your credit card. Okay. So now, guys, let us do one thing. Try for free. Try for free. Can you see here? You have start free or pay as you go model. Don't go for pay as you go model as of now, because you just started it. Okay, so try to have the what is it, free one. Try to have, what is it, guys, everyone, a free one. So start free, start with, what is that, start free. Try to use the start free, because you can save 1,500 month, that is this thing for a month. So you can go with the start free. And anyways, after some days after 10 to, that is 45 days, obviously you have to convert to this to pay as you go model. When you go to the pay as you go model, they will not charge you more than 800 rupees to 1,000, but you have to manage it. So try to, all of you, take the service here, make it ready. This portal you should get it, because they are going to begin the practicals from tomorrow onwards. Okay, guys. So this tomorrow, that is this Saturday, that is tomorrow, we are working, guys. So we will have the class this Saturday, that is tomorrow, and that's it. Okay. So anything else, guys? If you have any questions, please come on. Okay, somebody typed here. What is cloud? Okay, Cloudera and Cloudera versus Azure, and it's a HDFS is linked with Azure. What is the linked? Yes. Can you just tell me? Talk. Yeah. Who is this? Mansoor Hussain. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me. What is your doubt exactly?
Sir, actually, we are using ADF for big data technology. Sir. So it is also using map producing technology, just like as HDFS. And also, if it is S means where it is storing. And what's the difference between Cloudera this one? because in Cloudera we are using Yarn resource negotiator, that all things. In similarly, Azure also we are using like that.
See, basically, yeah. See, basically, when it comes to this, cloud. See, obviously, when you compare with any cloud, the cloud stores the data obviously in their data centers. Physical, okay, physical data. When you talk about, okay, physical, physical data. When you talk about, obviously, it stores in the that is nothing but this thing. But in Azure, you can also have, what is that? You mean to say some hybrid this thing, na? Hello, Mansoor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it supports the hybrid cloud. That means the combination of private cloud and public cloud, and private cloud separately and public cloud separately. That you can do it very easily here. Those all things are supported. So it is implementation wise, it is basically more than Hadoop, you can say, because here the data is stored in a DFS format, distributed file format, etc. Okay, so that's the thing, we have it. Yes, tell me any other questions?
One more question, sir. Nowadays, autoloader is trending, sir. Autoloader for data ingestion purpose we are using.
Autoloader.
Sir.
Okay.
Is it also covering in the syllabus, and also for schema importing automatically at the silver level, silver stage, that also covering in this?
See, basically this autoloader, it's provided basically to know for streaming the structured source, that is called as cloud files. So that, okay, we will see in the example. We will try to execute this because it is not there this in our curriculum right now. So we will try to add it this one, the cloud files or whatever you said. Okay, that is autoloader. It's a very simple example, but mostly this autoloader, what we do is we use it on the Databricks. We use it on the Databricks. Okay, so we'll try to execute even in ADF, no problem. What's there?
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Any other question?
So, are we covering IoT data streaming? I mean, data coming from devices?
Yes,
and
yes,
process?
yes. I'll show you an example on that. How the data will be, I'll show you.
So this class runs every Saturday as well, Monday to Saturday or Monday?
No. Only tomorrow we have a class, but
Okay.
every Saturday you will not have a class. Next Saturday you will not be having the class. This Saturday you will have it, because anyways I have to take the class for some other batches also. So hence we decided to continue tomorrow. Okay, guys. That's it. So we'll meet again tomorrow at the same time. Okay. Sunday, anyways, we'll take it off. Yeah.
One more question, sir. Is schema auto enforcement also we are going to cover?
Yes, infer schema.
Yes, sir. No, schema automatically inferring means we using autoloader now. So if any schema has been modified or changed from on-premise side, so that also we can automatically inferring schema in.
That's what I'm doing. Infer schema.
Sir.
Yeah. That's automatically the infer schema. You have to enable it. If you enable that, activate it, it will work as this. Okay. Automatically deducts the data type, whatever the change data type, it deducts and updates the changes. Okay. Any other question, ma? Okay then. I'm ending the class. We'll be tomorrow at morning at the same. 6:30. Okay, thank you. Ending the class. Okay, let's see the ADF. So what is ADF? Okay, guys. So ADF stands for what? Azure data. Azure data factory. Yes, everyone. So ADF stands for what? Azure data factory. Whereas the Azure data factory is nothing but it is a service. What is it? It is a service. Okay, guys, the Azure data factory is a service. So the Azure data factory is a service which is used to provide, okay, or which is provided basically by the Microsoft. What is that? Azure data factory is a service which is provided by the Microsoft. Azure data factory is a service which is provided by the Microsoft. Azure data factory is a service which is provided by the Microsoft to perform the job of ETL. Perform the job of ETL. Yes. So what is ETL? Basically, okay. So what is ETL? Basically, ETL stands for what, guys? ETL stands for extraction. ETL stands for extraction. Then we have what's a transformation. Transformation, and then we have what is that? Loading. Extraction, transformation, and loading. Where extraction, transformation, and loading, it is used to perform. Yes, guys, it is used to perform extraction, transformation, and loading. It is used to perform the data
Summarization.
yes, summarization. It is used to perform the data summarization. Okay, so now, okay, so now for this process of ETL, we require two things. What is that? Source, and the next one we require it as what? Target. Source, and we require it is what? Target. And between the source, everyone, between the source and the target, we apply what is that? ETL. That is nothing but extraction, transformation, and loading. So between the source and the target, we apply what is that? Extraction, transformation, and loading. Okay, guys. So whereas here, can you see source? Actually, source means what? Can somebody tell me? What do you mean by source? Okay. Source is a starting point. Source is a starting point where actually we can find the information. So else we can say that source is nothing but, yes guys, source is nothing but what? Source is nothing but, source is a source of data. Source is nothing but what? Source is nothing but what? Source of data. So that means we can get the data from what? We can get the data from following. That is from the files. Yes, guys, we get the data from what is that? Files. We get the data from what? Files. So files in the sense, what are the files we can have it, guys? We can have the following files. What is that? Or else we can have the following files. What is that? CSV files. Okay, we can have what's that? CSV files. CSV files. Okay, then we can have what's that? Comma delimited file, or else CSV is, it itself is called as what? Comma separated value files. Then you have what? Excel files. Everyone. So we have what's that? CSV files, Excel files. Okay.
Tab delimited files. Tab.
Yes, TSV files. We call it as what? TSV, which stands for tab separated value files. Okay, TSV files.
XML file. XML file.
Yes, XML file. It is extendable markup language. Or we
JSON.
can, yes, we can also have what's a JSON files, and then we can have what is it, HTML files. Then you have what, Parquet files. And then you have what's that, ORC files, object row nar. Okay, object row column, Okay, then we have what is that, optimized row column. As ORC stands for optimized row column. So ORC file. Then we have
Dat file.
Avro file. Yeah, tell me, what is it?
Dat file. Dat
Yes,
file.
yes. These are all the various type of files we can have, where you can find the data. Okay, guys, everyone, these are the various files we can have where we can find the data, or we can get the data here. Okay. Whereas apart from this, guys, everyone, apart from the files, what are the other source where we get the data? We can get the data from, what is that? Again, databases. Am I right? Databases. So what are the type of databases? So now, guys, can you tell me what is the very basic difference you have between the files and a database? You can consider that, files or a database, that is Excel file or CSV files, is very similar. Both are very similar. But whenever you have very massive amount of data, very large amount of data is stored, and that is something, but the files, Excel file or CSV file, does not support. Hence, we can store the data into what is a database. And the second reason is that, whenever you want, and the second reason is that whenever you want to store, data with more security, that much security is not provided in the CSV file or Excel file. Hence, we go for what? Database. And the third reason is that access. That means to get a particular data or a particular thing. That is, suppose I want salaries. I want the list of employees. Guys, I want the list of employees whose salaries are, whose salaries are less than 75,000. I want to get this list. This kind of retrieval is bit difficult in the Excel file or CSV files. Hence, we go for what? Database. So we go for what? Database. Three reasons. One is a security reason. Second is in our store huge and bulky data. And the third reason is what? Retrieval reason. These are the three reasons why we use the database always. Okay. Why we use the database. So what are the databases you can have? So databases means what? You can have the database as, tell me, guys, Oracle database,
MySQL.
MySQL, MySQL database.
PostgreSQL.
Yes, MySQL database.
DB2.
Yes, very good. Then we have, what is that? Yes,
SQL Server.
yes, sir.
SQL Server.
Yes, SQL Server.
Cosmos DB.
Very good. So now Cosmos DB,
MongoDB.
okay, no problem. That
Mongo.
is okay. That is basically Cosmos DB is a cloud-based. Okay, we can say that Cosmos DB.
MongoDB.
Yes, MongoDB, etc.
Snowflake.
Yes, Snowflake. All these are the databases we can have. So that means we can get the data from what? Even the databases. We can get the data from what? Even the databases. Okay, guys, we can get the data from what? Even the databases. That is Oracle, MySQL database, SQL. That is nothing but SQL Server, Cosmos DB, as you said, MongoDB, etc., etc. Apart from this, we can also get the data from, what is it? Can tell me now, guys? Live streaming data. Am I right? Live streaming data. So what do you mean by live streaming data, guys? Yes. What do you understand by live streaming data? Now, guys, you have it here. You have stock market. Have you ever seen the stock market? How does it works? The values changes on, what is that? every second or every minute it changes. Am I right or not? The session will be live. Whatever the things goes off, that will be live. Or if, for example, you can say live cricket match. Guys, we always see the live cricket match. No? What happens? Tell me now. The values, that means the score changes every that is every minute or every 5 minutes, every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes, the cricket match, that is the score changes. Likewise, very constantly live changing data here is nothing but the live streaming data. Okay, the data which streams live, that is called as what? Yes, live streaming data. So here you can have also get the data from what is that? Live streaming as a source. So anyways, many sources are there, but these are the three sources which we can majorly get it here. Okay, what should we can get the data from what? Yes, we can get the data from what? We can get the data from the files. We can get the data from the databases, and we can get the data from what is that? Live streaming data. Okay, guys, we can also get the data from what? From the live streaming. Okay, these are all the, yes, guys, these are all the source of data. So now further, what happens? From the source of data, guys, from the source of data, the data is that is nothing but extracted. So that means we use the on this all data, we use what is that? ADF, that is called as what? Azure Data Factory. We use the ADF, that is called as the Azure Data Factory. And using this ADF, we perform the job of ETL, that is extraction, transformation, and loading. And further guys, the extraction, transformation, and loading will be done and load the data into what is that? Destination. Loaded the data towards destination. Target can also be referred as what? Destination, guys. Target can also be referred as what? Destination. Okay, guys, clear everyone? So now after this, okay, after this, let us try to see here one more thing. What is that? Yes, guys, everyone. I'm audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, now guys. Okay, then afterwards, let's try to see here. Okay, types of data. Types of data. So now the data, whatever we get it, we know from what sources we get the data. But now let us try to see what is the type of data? What is the type of data? So the type of data is nothing but here can you see, guys, here can you see the following are the types which we can find it. The first one is called as structured data. Yes, guys, the first one is called as what? Structured data. The first one is called as what? Structured data. And the second one is called as what?
Unstructured.
Yes, or we can say semi-structured data. Semi-structured data. And the third one is called as what? Unstructured data. Unstructured data. So these are the three types of data we can have. What is that? Structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. Am I right, everyone? Structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. These are the three type of data we can have it. Okay, guys. So now let us try to understand what exactly the structure is, what is semi-structured, and what's the unstructured. So, guys, the structured data is nothing but, yes, the structured data is nothing but this data is already that is placed in the form of proper rows and columns.